Hello and welcome, this is GG Your Face and I will be talking about game between DDE and HuK. DDE will be playing as the blue Terran player at the 9 o'clock position, and HuK will be playing as the red Protoss at the 3 o'clock position. This is the MLG Dallas round number 1 between these two players. It is a best of 3, so whoever takes 2 games will move on. Whoever does not will go home in tears, or at least get to enjoy the rest of the games from the MLG live. And today is November 6th, so if you have not gotten your copy of Starcraft 2, you could buy it from a Black Friday deal that's available on Amazon.com. You can get 3 games for the price of 2. They have PS3 games, PS2, Wii, Xbox 360, PC, and Mac. You name it, they've probably got it, but it's blackfriday.info/go/223. The deal does expire today. I am not trying to promote it. I'm just letting you guys know it's a 33% deal off, and if you have friends that have not yet bought StarCraft 2, it is the perfect opportunity for them to do so. As DDE is opening with the barracks along with the refinery, and HuK is opening with the Stargate as well as the assimilator at the current moment. A lot of Terran players do like to wall off at the top of the ramp. That is a common mistake. You don't really want to wall it off because the supply depot is relatively weak, and that's why DDE has his supply depot inside. HuK was staying at the Zelnagawatt Tower a little bit just to try to catch a glimpse of where DDE was coming from, but he did not have the patience to wait a couple more seconds, so he did scout in the wrong direction. He had the right idea. We do see a pylon going on to the side, usually signifying a hidden Stargate or Robo or something funky on the side. We do see the the cybernetics core is going down for HuK at the moment, and DDE also will be scouting the wrong direction as HuK is going to try to come in here. There's a Marine, and HuK does micro away, not even completely depleting the shield. The orbital command is going down for DDE at the moment, and we see 1 gas versus 1 gas, and the second gas is coming online for HuK, so we might see a very, very tech-heavy build, or at least something that is not the normal Zealot, Stalker, and Sentry. How will it work out? I don't know. Well, actually, I know. But in any event, we see the robotics facility going down on slightly to the left side. And I think the SCV will be able to scout it. Yes, the SCV will be able to see that he is building a robotics facility. So the Jack is out of the box, and this probe has a rich mineral in his hands. Very, very greedy. I believe that is 7 minerals he's stolen from DDE's gold expansion, and DDE is going to move out with a couple of Marines. The probe should be able to spot this and run away, and he does. And there is one very unhappy SCV raging upon the gateway that is currently building a Stalker, and the warp gate is currently being chrono boosted, and he is not chrono boosted, he is saving all of his chrono boost probably for the robotics facility, as he probably wants to get either a fast immortal or an observer. We see inside the base of DDE, the 111 build, 1 reactor is coming on top of the barracks, 1 factory is coming online with a tech lab, and we see Immortal is currently being chrono boosted along with a sentry. This is a very, very cool build. Not many people have been using this build, just jumping past the Zealot completely, and this probe does meet its maker as the 7 minerals in his hand is no longer capable of being mined. And the first Immortal is out in the field for HuK at the moment, as DDE is expressing his concern over the control of the map by moving his SCV about very, very much so. If we take a look inside the base, we see a couple of Marines. Army count at 35 to 37. DDE is slightly supply block at the moment as he's trying to build a supply depot. I believe he has almost enough energy to call down a supply to get unblocked, but I don't think he's going to do it. This supply depot is about to be finished, and he's also building his command center at the moment. We do see 1 observer finished for HuK, and the observer is flying relatively quickly across the map to try to traverse and see what his opponent is doing. If we take a look at the unit composition, we see only 4 units for the Protoss player HuK. 2 sentries, 1 immortal, and 1 stalker, and I think he wants to deny the scout of the ability to see that he has a nexus, but I think because of that, his opponent will be a little bit suspicious, and he's going to move out with a group of Marines, and there's also 1 Banshee coming on the way. So if we take a look at his vision, he doesn't see the expansion just yet, but he's probably assuming that his opponent has expanded because he's only have about 4 units, or he's only seen 4 units. So that is a very, very good guess by DDE. As he's coming across, there are 2 gateways being warped in, and this is the only thing powering the robotics facility. That is a little bit peculiar, as HuK is usually more careful about the placement of his pylons. And we do see the Stalkers and Sentries might be able to deter this force of Marines. Ooh, one force field goes off, trying to trap some of it, or at least trying to prevent them from getting a nice arc. You always want to have a force field in the middle of the Marine ball, because that will decrease the density, and by decreasing the density you also sort of decrease the damage, because the most powerful factor about the Marine Marauder and the medevac ball is that it's so tightly packed. There's so much damage packed into such a tiny space, and we see some Banshee harassment on this pylon. If he can bring it down, he might be able to stop the production of this observer, and a couple of more Stalkers warp in, and we have some units moving around in the middle of the map, but they're not just attacking yet. And 2 additional pylons are going to be placed next to the robotics facility that is currently unpowered. And the last observer do make it out. This is a very good idea to have multiple observers, because observers are what the Protoss use as their eyes. If we take a look at the income tab right now, both players about the same equal footing, 31 harvesters each. And we see a tech lab as well as some bunkers going down, and we see the second and third and fourth barracks as 2 observers will see the exact information he needs. A couple of Banshees over here, and ooh, one very, very nice volley from the Stalkers does take down one of the Banshees, and the Banshees are going on the high ground. And since units don't have vision of the high ground, they can't really shoot at it, even though they were close enough. 1 observer over here at the front of the base, 1 observer on top of the watchtower. Very, very nice positioning for these units. Steam Pack is being researched for the infantry units, as well as Blink is going down for HuK, and some of the Banshees are moving around the map. I think HuK is reading his opponent's mind. He's really, really close to catching those Banshees out of position, but just barely missed it, as these 2 Banshees might be able to do significant damage. Both of them have 0 kills as of yet, and we see a quite sizable force outside the base, and here are HuK's probes just minding their own business and dying. We see a huge fight in front of DDE's base, as some of the Marines are bunkered, and this factory chose the wrong time to land. But I think the Banshee harass has stopped, as the probes have not really been dying just yet. He's probably microing in his expansion, and some of the probes are going down actually, and a couple of Marines will go down, but I think HuK took more losses, as Marines are relatively cheap to build, and we see Concussive Shell is currently being researched, about 80% done. Seeing the forces of, ooh, he does snipe that observer. Very, very nice play. We see about half the probes are gone for HuK, as he did warp in some of those Stalkers to fight off the Banshees, but the damage is done. If we take a look at the income tab right now, the Terran player does have about a 30 or 40% advantage in terms of minerals, and that is a huge advantage. If you take a look at the army size, 89 to 68, a pretty wide gap as he takes down the last Banshee. Those Banshees got quite a number of kills, and a quite big significant advantage for the Protoss player, as a couple of mules are being called out after that scan that caught the observer. And we do see a couple of probes are currently being chrono boosted by HuK, double chrono boost on both the Nexus, trying to make up for that economical loss, as a couple of more units are marching across the map, a lot of Stalkers, and he does blink in and take out an SCV at the middle. That is one smoking hot SCV. The observer is going near the edge, and we see another bunker. The Terran player is digging his heels into the sand, saying, ooh, I am going to sit here. Ooh, I think HuK is going to try to blink to the high ground. I believe this is a mickable jump. As some of the Stalkers are blinking over, he will be able to try to take down this bunker. And the bunker goes down, take down the SCV. Ooh, very, very close. A couple of Banshees coming from the sides. Some of the Stalkers are a little bit out of position, and he's trying to salvage it, but he will not be able to salvage that in time. He does salvage the other bunker in time, and HuK does lose one of those, and he actually loses an Immortal. That was a little bit slow. Immortals probably always wish they were faster, because they are chunky units. And the sentry is also going to go down. A couple of Stalkers in the back, in the middle of the map. There's a huge army of infantry units. If we take a look at the army size, 116 to 92, a quite noticeable difference between these 2 players, as the Terran player had a significant advantage for quite a bit, because he took down quite a number of probes inside the base of HuK. Some of the Zealots and Stalkers are being warped in at the moment. That we might see a huge confrontation. A scan goes off at the back, knowing the opponent's position is very, very vital, and now he's focus firing on the Zealots, and the Terran player is trapped, but he's focus firing very, very nicely. We see a lot of the Stalker's going down very, very quickly. 2D focus fire of the Terran player. And we see, ooh, that is a huge loss for HuK as some of his units were out of position. He was not able to throw down the force fields to fight half of the unit at the same time. And some of the probes are coming into the battle. We might... Ooh, additional reinforcements show up for DDE. I think that might be it. And HuK does call GG. Hope you guys enjoy that. Do follow me to game number 2. This is G Your Face. If you like what you see, please subscribe. The subscription button is yellow. And also follow me on Twitter. I'll see you guys at the next game. Thanks for watching.